is not made up of how much money he's got. He's got a massive house, he's got the wife, he's got the picket fence, the dog. That's not what a life man's consist of. Because men have these things, but they're still what? Pieces of shit. Right? Scumbags. Right? I've got to say it that way. Right? But it says, beware of what? Covetousness. Right? Beware of covetousness. And when you go and start with covetousness, it's divine. You know what's spiritual? Because my grandma said this. She told me something. What was it? Yeah, I think it was yesterday, a couple of days ago. Yeah, a couple of days ago. People out here you got to watch out for envy and covetousness. People are like that in this society. Very envy, very covetousness. If they see you doing something better than them, they don't like that. A righteous man is going to appreciate it, but a wicked man ain't going to like that. Why? Because that's the ways of the world. Right? For a man's life consists of not in the abundance of things which he possesseth, right? Which he has. Okay. That's why you got to beware of covetousness. Someone that's desiring what they want and covetous. You know why it's so dangerous? You know why it's so dangerous? Because if you're desiring what someone wants, that means you're willing to do anything possible to get that particular thing. That's how dangerous it is. So covetousness, it leads to every sin you can think of. You will commit adultery. You will sleep with someone's woman. Why? Why do people do that? Because they were covetous. They were envious. Right? Why do people murder? Money. Sometimes it's money. Because they were covetousness. They saw someone had more money or was flossing on them. Right? Well, you gotta. This way you gotta read the scriptures and read it with understanding. That's why these things happen. Right? Why do people copy people and emulate them? Because of covetousness. Right? Verse 6, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth what? Plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, what should I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? Right? This individual was my. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. So he had a lot of fruits. So he was he was a labouring man. Right? But he was thinking about himself, and he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. And where would I bestow all my fruits and my goods? Right? So he was about himself. How he could feed his own appetite. He had plans. And a lot of men, we're not supposed to have plans in this society. You're supposed to want it to go down. You're not supposed to want it to continue. Where I should bestow my fruits and my goods. So he wanted to build bigger barns, bigger space, more space to bestow his goods. So this was an individual. He wasn't thinking about the kingdom going down. And I will say to my soul that has much goods lay up for many years, take that ease, eat and drink and merry. That's that complacent spirit. We're not supposed to be like that. Because we're in a war, and we're in a spiritual war against demons. We're fighting against principalities, spirits. Right? But the Most High said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? See, your soul is going to be required. You're going to pass away. And all those things you just laboured for, all that bonds you, who's it going to go to? Right? Because most of us, the lands that you've built on or whatever, who does that really belong to? Most of it belongs to Esau. Right? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich towards Yahweh Yahushai. So it's about what? Being rich towards Yahushai. In spirit. Right? And when you further go down to this chapter, it's just basically, it goes into when it says, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, neither will your body what you shall put on, for the life is more than meat and the body is more than raiment. Right? Much more than raiment. And it's the mentality we're supposed to have in this truth. Right? You see, it's all spiritual. Let's go to Mark 4 and 18, and these are they which are sown among the thorns, such as that hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things enter in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. Right? So it's key things to the cares of this world. So many men, they get drowned out, they get suffocated by what the cares of this world, the things of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things. Oh, but the ambitions, I got plans here, and I got this. You got to put that aside. That's why the scripture says, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation. Prepare your spirit for these things. And the lust of other things entering in choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. So the lust of other things could be your woman, right? So instead of certain men doing the work, they're more concerned with what? Laying up with their woman, watching Netflix or some football. Right? Instead of doing the work. I'm talking about not just young men, leaders that should know better. Why? Because they're of the world. Right? And they become unfruitful, and you see this happening. Right? Constantly. You see these things happening. And it's not easy. There's going to be distractions, but that's down to you. That's down between you and Yahweh Shai. Because men can tell you, right? It's for you to, do what you have to do. Let's go to John 14 and 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. Right? None of us